I was going to say, welcome to the
podcast.
Welcome to Pandora.
Welcome to Jurassic Pandora. Welcome to Was It Good, the podcast that reviews movies and TV shows. Today we are taking a long, difficult look at Avatar: The Way of Water. I'm Ravi, and as always, I'm joined by my two brothers,
Arjuna.
And Krishna. In my glasses.
You
Because I'm out of contacts.
You can tell Krishna is tired when he puts on his glasses.
Wait, he often wears his glasses.
Not these pods. He always does.
Always
He
do
always,
the contacts because of the glare and,
Like Post Malone, he's always tired.
You want to know my secret? I'm always tired.
takes a nap. It's actually true.
Wait, why is this pod difficult?
Because it's difficult for me. Because I said before we started, when I left the theater, when I left the theater after seeing Avatar: The Way of Water, I was all in. I was wow.
You were
wow,
a believer.
Wow, wow,
you were
wow,
a Navi. You were a Navi stan.
I was a Navi sympathizer.
I was very much into what I had just witnessed. There were definitely a couple of issues with the film. The biggest one, I think, being the middle piece where
There's too much blue.
Too much dragging on in terms of we get it. It's these kids growing up and we're spending, it felt a little bit too much time there.
Too much whales for you.
Not even that it was too much whale, just too much like character development.
Exposition.
You're saying that the Sullys had too many kids and you would have like trimmed one or two of them out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Kind of.
So would James Cameron.
That's what he did by the end of that film. Ooh. You got 4 kids, now you got 3.
Ooh.
And
Well, no, they remember a kid for a kid. Don't forget about Spider. No more Spider erasure in this universe.
Oh, my God.
Spider-Man.
But then in talking with Krishna, it's been obviously a couple of weeks since this film came out. Talking with you
Like
as
3
well.
weeks?
It's been like 3-4 weeks. It's almost been, no.
I think it's 3 weeks.
3 weeks. It's been
Yeah.
3 weeks. And like you've seen everyone else's opinion on it. Obviously, it changes your opinion.
It evolves.
It evolves, changes. So, and that leads me into my one-word impression, which is evolves.
Oh.
The film has evolved on multiple levels
For you.
for I think everyone. The technology right off the bat, in terms of how Cameron went to shoot this. Right, he's doing mocap underwater, which in itself is a fantastic and amazing, feat of engineering, technology, and suckering a studio into paying a lot of money.
James Cameron is now at the point where he's like, give me a blank check.
Okay.
I mean, South Park made fun of Cameron years ago when they had to bring up the bottom or the lowest of the low in terms of what people are doing in the world, and James Cameron was like, James Cameron's going to do what James Cameron's going to do.
Do you think James Cameron wants to remake Titanic now?
Yes.
Remake
100%. He's going to remake it.
And he wants to mocap the entire boat.
Make them all some other
Jesus.
fictional race of alien.
Just make an Avatar Titanic.
Why not?
He's created this whole world and all this technology. He should redo all of his greatest movies on Pandora.
Well, there's-
so Terminator, Titanic.
Well, there's what's supposed to be like
All of
5,
them.
6 of these movies, right?
It's too many.
5.
So
I think.
why not? Why not just take like a little detour and it's like Avatar, Terminator, or like Avatar, Titanic.
But to be fair though, like he kind of did that with this movie. We got recreations to a degree of like Titanic, where they're on this little boat and it's sinking, very much like Titanic. We got action sequence very similar to what we saw in Terminator.
I didn't see a robot melt into
Fire.
molten lava. It was not lava, but fire. Whatever that stuff is at the end of Terminator 2.
That was in Avatar 1.
And Avatar, but also Avatar 1's a remake of Pocahontas.
And Avatar 2 is kind of just a redo of Avatar 1.
Right. he followed the Star Wars model, right? Remake your classic.
Well, he didn't even. Oh, at least episode 5 inversed the movie, right? Like it had the big action sequence at the front. Like that's what Lucas talked about, right? Like just inverse the entire movie, and then they lose at the end.
I don't know. I think Vader won, so.
Like the heroes, right? Like Luke, Han,
Vader.
Leia lose at the end of episode 5. They don't win.
I know this isn't the point of the pod, but
Star Wars.
is the Empire really the bad guys when you think about it?
Yes.
They're trying to unify the galaxy.
Andor.
Did you watch
The
Andor?
humans are good in this movie.
Andor has proven the Empire is bad.
And like going back to like Avatar, are the humans really that bad? They just want to prolong their life with whale brain goo.
Tritium.
No, what?
No, I know. Sorry, that's something else.
Wait, wasn't
Doc
the,
Ock,
the
Spider-Man
first
too.
Yeah.
resource was unattainable?
Unobtainium.
In this movie?
No, in the first one.
Yeah, in the Avatar series.
Yeah, in this.
Oh, it's called unobtainium?
Yes.
Unobtainium.
Oh
Unobtainium.
my
So,
god.
so we have the unobtainium and we have the whale blubber.
No, it's whale brain juice.
Yeah, whale blubber.
Well, it had a name.
I think what this is what James Cameron's doing, right? He's fucking with everyone and he's making his own Avengers. Like all of these materials are gonna come out and they're gonna make like suits of armor and it's gonna be like full on Age of Ultron by the So they're gonna make an AI to keep Pandora safe.
AI gone wrong. Terminator.
Hasn't
2.
he? Maybe I'm misremembering this, but hasn't he had a quote where he like wants some of these later movies to like really jump in time and
Oh, thank God.
and whatnot? And I think there's an interview he said like the next movie will leave Pandora and like
Not the next one, because the next one's going to be about
fire.
the Fire Nation.
Is that real?
For real. They're going to look at the way
Like a volcano?
the way he's like, and
The Ash people, I think, is what he maybe called them.
I'm paraphrasing here, but basically the idea is we're going to see a portion of the Na'vi that aren't as good. Like we've seen the tree people, the water people as like these good forces of nature and very connected to the planet and protecting family. And in the third one, we're going to kind of see the Na'vi gone bad. With these like
Fire Nation?
Yes, which is very much like okay. I
boy.
get you probably watched the Avatar Nickelodeon show, but you
I
don't
hope
have to
he
be
did at this
such
point.
like a blatant ripoff.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. It's getting.
Cameron's like, I saw this
really.
obscure thing on TV once. Nobody will notice.
nobody will
Avatar. No one watches that little cartoon, right?
Oh, man.
Junior, you said before we started that you have a really good one-word impression.
Yes.
So we're gonna have Krishna go next.
That makes sense.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Build it up. Now it's gonna be terrible.
I guess mine will be visuals. Because that is the.
That's all you remember about the film.
That's
right on
it's-
the nose.
It's the. It's the element of the movie.
Actually, the element of
that
the movie is
the most. It's the word.
Visual.
It's this is 8 a.m. brain here. It's the most eye catching. That's terrible.
Eye popping.
I
Yeah,
thought when you said
eye-popping,
element,
yeah.
well, element would have been water. You should have said
Filmmaking
Water.
element.
Cameron.
No, the visuals were absolutely incredible. As soon as the movie started, I was like, I didn't think it was possible for them to take as much of a leap visually as they did from the first movie to this one.
Bless you, Michael.
I didn't think they could, and it went far beyond what I was expecting visually. I was like, this was all CGI, and it looks real.
What were your Did you have like high expectations or low
I
expectations?
had high expectations
for the visuals.
for the visuals because they had 10 to 12 years to work on it, and they still somehow surpassed what I could have expected.
13. It's 13 years between the release of
Yeah.
Avatar 1 and Avatar Way of Water.
Yeah, so over a decade to work on it, and they somehow I was still blown away. And now I'm not like the most technical person, so I just didn't think it was possible to take that much of a leap, and they did. And it's easy. Visuals, one word impression, boom.
I think it's gonna be fascinating in 10 years to go back and look at this movie.
Absolutely.
Because when you look at the original, the first Avatar, it doesn't hold up because technology has come
and more movies.
yeah,
to
more
advantage of that.
Yeah,
It doesn't
utilize
look bad,
that.
though.
It doesn't look terrible.
Like it's
by
not
any
like
means,
bad.
no.
It's not bad CGI.
Not
Like
at
it's
all.
not like it's like Marvel movies, right? Like
Right.
there's objectively bad CGI, and
Panther.
I wouldn't say even though like there's better or not necessarily better, but like stuff that's a little bit more advanced, like this movie. Like this movie, for example, it's still like it looks believable.
I was
Yeah.
actually thinking when I'm a big person at fault for saying this. Like we say bad CGI when it comes to Marvel. I think we have to stop saying bad CGI and just saying rushed CGI. Because it's not that these effects artists can't or don't know what they're doing and it's just considered bad or whatever. They're just on such an insane time crunch.
Right.
And Avatar, I think, is a really good case study where it's like if you give people the time to perfect the art, you are visually blown away, right? So I guess,
incredible.
yeah.
So you're saying that your mindset
Mhm.
on CGI has
about mindset.
evolved.
It has evolved.
In the last 5 minutes.
Exactly. Based on Arjuna shitting on CGI.
What's it? What? You're the one that just said Avatar 1 sucks.
I didn't say Avatar 1 sucks.
It
just
doesn't hold up
It doesn't
visually?
hold up. It's not as like...
Visually.
Remember, like, what's fascinating with the brain is how we remember things.
Yeah.
Sure.
We remember things in a more usually enhanced, colorful way than what things actually are typically, right? So, like, when we all sit down and think back to Avatar, our minds are like, whoa, that was really visually big and stunning. But then when you sit down and watch it, you're going to be like, whoa, what? It's the Toy Story thing, where in Toy Story, when you look at Toy Story 1, you remember it being this, like, whoa, like, the characters and things look like real life. Like,
Yeah,
but then when you look at it today, you're
It's
like,
pretty bad.
whoa, it's Windows 95 screensaver.
Oh, my God. Toy Story?
It doesn't.
Yes.
So
Oh,
the
yeah.
animation really doesn't hold up. Because I mean, but that movie's it's coming up to 30 years
Yeah.
old. So
Holy shit.
It is old as shit.
yeah.
So it's like when we were young watching Star Wars Episode 4. Like, that's the time difference that we're talking about, essentially.
Almost, yeah.
More,
if you think
more,
about
more
it.
than that.
More than
'Cause
that, yeah.
remember that movie came out in '77,
Yeah.
and when was the first time we saw that? Like mid '90s. So it's like not even 30 years. So yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Juna, you had your one-word impression. It better evolve and visually blow me out of the water.
It's gonna be kids,
Okay, that was the stupidest one.
and here's why. This movie is about children. It's
Oh, for
about
love of God.
kids,
Oh, my God.
right? It's about the next generation.
Mhm.
You see the kids of the Sully family. You see the kids of how do you pronounce his name? Quaritch.
Quaritch?
Quaritch. The Colonel. Let's just call him the
Let's
Colonel.
call him the Colonel.
Yeah, the
Colonel.
Colonel.
The Colonel.
Colonel.
The son of the Colonel.
Spider.
And then even the son of the river tribe of Ronald and Tonawari, right? They're two children, right? The movie, obviously those characters are important and are in the movie, but the children drive a lot of the narrative,
Right.
and they're clearly setting up these kids to take on the mantle of main characters as these movies kind of go on, especially like the Sully's kind of middle kid, Loak, gets a lot of shining time. And then I also used kids because in my theater, in my personal experience, we don't always do this, but like sometimes we have to bring in our own personal experience when we watch the movie, right? As
Totally.
we talk about it. And in my screening, there were a lot of kids, a lot of young families, right? This is a very popular family movie, and there were some kids behind me, and for the last hour, and I think this is probably because it's a 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
They're little kids, probably losing their minds, sitting still for so long. Started like, tap, 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 tap. Like during that whole, climax of the battle and everything, And as you guys know, I recently had surgery on my back.
Damn.
Oh.
So it was not the most pleasant experience with those specific kids.
Did you say anything to the parents?
Yeah, I turned around a few times, and the people next to us were like really going at them. Like I thought, like at one point there was going to be a bit of
Blows.
a tension fight, or they were going to leave or like report it or something.
World star.
Like they had their masks on and they like whipped out and then like took their masks off and like started yelling at one point. And I was like, this is intense, and it took me out of the movie, right? Like
Yeah, of course.
anything like
100%.
you have like that, that's going to take you out of this like beautiful experience.
Most moviegoers would be pissed.
Yeah,
in your
and I was
situation.
just like,
Yeah.
all right. I was like, all right, it's a 3-hour movie. Like, how much did I really miss?
Wow. I probably missed like 2%.
And then like earlier in the movie too, it's a little less distracting, but still distracting nonetheless. And like a couple rows in front of me, there was another kid who was just kind of running
oh my God. Doing
down
laps?
the aisle. Like at one point, he was running down the stairs. And I went to the IMAX 3D at Universal, which is like it's very tight, right? And like you can, even though it's a huge screen, you can see like some of the people in front of you, especially if there's movement, a lot of movement. So like it was just distracting to see someone kind of run back and forth. So the kids really defined the movie experience for me, both in the movie and outside.
And outside of the movie.
This-
They both perhaps elevated the movie and destroyed the movie.
Yeah. Well, and then it even got me thinking afterwards too. Like the first movie came out 13 years ago, right? So anyone who is 13 or younger did not experience Avatar in theater when it originally came out, right?
Right.
So now this is like becoming a family affair, as I kind of experienced within my movie going experience, and I think Cameron was kind of smart to not necessarily just rely and exactly just have Jake and Tyrion and all these characters just lead the movie, but have these new characters for the newer audience to latch on, because that's how you build a franchise. That's how you make it IP.
But are these kids that were in that theater latching on if their dumbass parents can't control them?
The little kids, no, but like what 4-year-old can watch a 3-hour
And
movie?
this leads me to my new campaign: ban kids under the age of 7 and 8 from going to movie theaters.
Well,
What about the kid
but that's
movies?
technically what
Huh?
I mean, the kid movies, right?
Yeah, that's
Made
fine.
for
But
them.
like movies
But,
that
like-
PG and 13 and up, I don't think kids.
But that's why it's rated PG-13, right? Like this
Right.
movie was rated PG-13,
Right.
correct? Like it's supposed to be
Oh,
a
man.
guidance of like, if you're under 13, you need
Right.
parental guidance. So either our parents are failing, or if they can't control their kids, they should leave the kids at home.
Yeah, they definitely should. Like, I mean, you know, a lot of people. Like, I think we as a society, for the most part, we let that behavior run amok. Like, we don't say anything to the parents for whatever reason. But I think we should start saying shit to the parents, because it's the fucking parents' job to control your psychotic kids. Like, it shouldn't be people in the audience's job to like tell the kids, hey, stop doing that, right?
It's easy to like project on what you would do, but like I would like to think if that happened for me, as soon as that happened and I told them to stop and they did it again, I'm pulling everybody out and we're
Yeah.
leaving the movie theater.
Yep.
And you're being punished. Like,
yeah.
That's not
easy as
punishment.
that. Well,
it's-
your punishment is you don't get to finish the movie.
right. I mean, it's teaching a lesson.
Yeah.
You can't say
And
punishment.
then you
anymore.
ground them. No video games for a week or two. Take away their
No
pocket
video
money.
games. No, I'm just joking.
Video games.
You let your kids play video games?
I don't have kids. Thank
You
God.
He's
don't?
got family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have kids. I have family. Somehow that seems worse.
That feels like the logic of the Fast and the Furious 10 movie. Or
So you guys
15 or
remember how like
whatever.
the Fast and Furious movies started out as like car movies and then they became superhero movies?
You mean
do you-
family movies?
Do you think Avatar will also see a pivot in
I
terms
hope
of
so.
like it became a movie about
It
blue
needs to.
aliens? And
If
then
they
it
if they're
became
doing
about-
5 movies and then maybe more, it absolutely needs to pivot. and
I want
go
to see
through some
lightsabers.
changes.
I want to see them fight in space, like space battles.
I think that's where it sounds like, based on what you said, that Cameron projects. That's very possible. Not the lightsabers, but the space stuff.
Well, he did come out and say like he wants this to be.
Evolve.
He wants to see an Avatar 10, 15, whatever. Like this thing just
Yeah.
goes on. Like he wants 20 plus years of Avatar.
It's like secretly in the same universe as Alien or something. And
That would
They
be
eventually
great.
meet. Yeah, man. Why not?
Yeah, Ridley Scott and James Cameron are like, hey,
Secretly
how do we
collaborate.
like really scare the hell out of our audience? I have a 30-year plan.
Oh man! And then can you imagine an alien Na'vi? Like, you know, because they morph, right? The xenomorph, like
xenomorphs.
Yeah,
takes
they
on their,
take on their host or whatever,
or
it's, like,
based
function.
on that movie.
right.
Prometheus?
The one
Exactly.
after that, I think.
Prometheus
2.
something.
Return to New York.
I never saw that
Prometheus
one.
2. I like
Covenant, and
Covenant.
it was fantastic.
I think Covenant's scarier, way
Oh,
scarier
100%.
than like Prometheus.
Trailer was
and
very
as
scary.
scary as like the first time you see
I
Alien.
remember that trailer was very scary.
You should watch it. It's scarier than like Barbarian
Okay, I
and
can, I
Smile.
can read the Wikipedia page.
No, you should watch those.
you should
definitely
watch it.
You should watch
Watch
it.
IP.
It's a great sci-fi.
Next time
Even-
it's playing in theaters, or you know what? Let's rent a theater
Yeah.
and watch it.
For your birthday.
And then, oh my god! And then what we'll do is when like we get to the climax, we get like a slimy alien toy and just whip it at his face.
Wow. We're really trying to scar you for life.
For life.
You're trying to scarred me
So-
for life.
So the big question is,
Scar,
Arjuna,
scar.
your movie experience was not, ideal.
No.
And if James Cameron was in this room, his response would not be, for parents to like be better with their
Well,
kids.
his response is very simple.
He would not offer you a refund.
See it
He would
again.
tell you to go see it again.
Yeah.
Will you go see this again in theaters?
Probably not. There's a lot of movies I want to see in theater right now.
And this is not one of them.
Well, it's not that I wouldn't go see this again, but there's other things that take priority, like that I haven't seen yet, right? Like
Right.
that I want to go to the theater and experience and see. So probably, I mean, it depends, right? If there's like a lull at the end of January and I've gone through those movies, I'm like, Maybe, yeah. But it's also a commitment. It's a 3.5 hour like huge commitment versus like a regular movie, which is like 2 hours. You know?
We got to ask you the
2.5
question
hours.
that all of our viewers are dying for me and Ravi to ask.
Oh boy.
Eternals was physically
Yeah.
a horrible experience, and you experienced physical symptoms from that movie.
Yeah.
And me and Ravi had a prediction that this movie, especially seeing it in IMAX 3D with the glasses, might cause you some issues.
Yeah.
Were there any issues?
Totally fine.
James Cameron
James
did
Cameron knows.
it. James Cameron fucking did it.
James Cameron does what James Cameron's gonna do, and James Cameron's
He's
not gonna
cured you.
James Cameron is not gonna kill our Judas today.
Yeah.
To be fair, I was preemptive and took like some Tylenol before.
Very smart.
I got a ton of snacks to have during the movie.
Ooh, I don't really want to talk about the movie. Let's talk about snacks.
I got the so they have
Chocolate
at
almonds.
AMC they have something called a holiday snack pack right now, which comes with a large popcorn,
Large
2
pie.
candies, and 2 drinks.
How much? $50?
It's like $30.
Wait, that's all $30? That's actually
It's a good deal.
based on like how
Yeah,
their usual cost of things. That's a really good
that's
deal.
a good deal. And
That's
so,
the price of popcorn.
Yeah, and so it was nice to have a large popcorn, a big. I got the Kit Kat Thins finally, which biggest disappointment because you think they're not wrapped, all individually wrapped.
You had to like.
How's a Kit Kat thin?
There's like a newer candy that they've had at AMC for the last few months. And like they have like those Oreo thins, and they have like the thins are kind of like a sub brand of the candies that they've had.
This is the problem when you only have a Regal near you.
And I've wanted to try these Kit Kat thins for a while, and I was excited. I'm like, great, I have this like bag of Kit Kats, and they're gonna be like thin. It'll be great. But then I opened the bag like during the movie, like probably an hour in. I put my hand in, and I'm like,
Oh.
and then it was wrapped.
Why does it feel like plastic and not
And I
chocolate?
had to like unwrap each one and eat it, and then like unwrap and eat it.
Yeah, a little exercise, a little calorie burning.
So the
It's
kids
sensual.
were kicking you because they wanted some
Ooh.
candy.
Possibly.
Oh.
That's a good
you
point.
should just start whipping them at him. Here.
And then I had a really large lemonade, which for most people would have, made you go to pee, but I didn't pee.
Oh yeah, did anyone go pee during the movie?
I did not.
Somehow I did.
I did.
Yeah.
I made sure, especially it was during
You made sure to go pee?
it was during the middle of the movie, specifically around like when the kids were, going through Avatar school training. Because I was like, I've seen this before. I don't really need to see it again. So I made sure I was like, I'm just gonna go and take a little break.
So
I-
you missed the pipital part.
Which part?
Where they learned how to time travel underwater.
They didn't do
You missed
that.
that.
You
They didn't do
learned
that.
you learned
Clearly you
Loak and the whale bonding.
No.
You didn't see that?
No, I saw that
Oh.
part. Yeah.
I was
No,
like,
it was
that's kind of a
it was
big
around
part.
The best part of the movie.
It was the part
Yeah.
where the Sully kids are with the tribal leaders' kids, and they're teaching them how to breathe underwater.
Oh, yeah.
That like at the start of that sequence is when I got up and went to go to the bathroom and check my phone and take some selfies.
Yeah, so you would have learned a very good meditation technique if you had stayed around.
Because I'm guessing it lasted about 10 minutes almost.
No, it was like
30.
6 to 9.
It was 30. That's
How long did you pee if you
That-
don't know how long it lasted?
Clearly, he took a
Well, he
dump.
was taking selfies. That part lasted 30 seconds, and then the next 9 minutes and 30 seconds that you missed was all about the time travel.
There was no time travel.
You missed it. You don't know.
I do know.
You don't.
There's an app for when you should go pee in movies. It's
I've heard about this.
or website. There's tons of things
What?
where people like give you recommendations.
There's a website.
Yeah, so I had preemptively.
Not a subreddit.
Yeah, not a sub. I'm sure there's a subreddit too. But basically, someone was like, when the kids start to learn how to go underwater is when it's okay for you to
Avatar
leave.
school training. I love that.
Yeah, Avatar school training.
Yeah.
That was one of my
to-
favorite parts.
To our
Yeah.
what Arjuna said, this is a remake of the first one where it's like outsiders coming into a new community, learning the ways of the people. Then
The ways of water this time.
The ways of water. Then the bad guys
Earth.
coming, and then fighting the bad guys, and it's very similar to the first one. And
And the fourth movie will be about airbenders.
probably space benders. Is that a thing? Space bending in the Avatar animated world?
That's how you differentiate yourself from Avatar, the last Airbender.
Let's talk real quick about Sully and the idea of leading a resistance and then just quitting.
He quiet quit.
He Irish goodbye.
He's like, we're gonna sneak out.
Well, that's to protect them, right?
But that's what I'm very confused by this logic. Like,
Listen, he's when you're emotional and you have people to protect, you don't always
Family.
make the
smartest decisions.
most clear cut decisions, and he's human. Oh, is he?
Are we human or are we dancer?
Yes.
Ask Brian Flowers.
Juna, let's hear. Arjuna somehow and for some reason made a chapter listing for a 3.5-hour movie.
I kept it like
I kept it tight. It's tight.
This is tight. This is
tight.
tight.
So Chris is going to go ahead and read this for us in the voice of a colonel.
What? Of a colonel.
Yep, I don't know.
Accelerate your motherfucking life. Like that?
Yeah, do that.
I don't like that.
Okay, then do it. All right, fine.
Wait,
How about
this is the first time we've.
Here's a better one. Here's a better one. Here's a better one.
don't like it.
Do it as a colonel telling his troops the plan, but he needs to go to the bathroom really badly.
Oh. Oh, boy. Okay. Arjuna's DVD chapter listing for Avatar, The Way of Water. It's gonna be a montage! Montage! I'm blue, dabba dee daboo die. One man of the entire Navi. Sins of our clone daddy. No one really cares about being the oh, wait. No one really cares about the dog child. Joining the water tribe. The whale's best friend. Whale blubber, the new anti-aging cream. Let's go hunt some Jake Sully. Infinite handcuffs. They went too far. A song of water and fire. Just let him die.
It's pretty good. That was good. That was good, yeah. Because
yeah.
what? No, you know
Sound
why?
constipated.
Yeah. Because I can't go to the bathroom without my laxative.
But why it worked though is because you increased your speed,
Oh, yeah.
which makes a lot of sense when you like need to go to the bathroom really
I was
quick.
just trying to get through this TV chapter.
Well, there you go. I will say this. I will.
No,
give,
the listing was good. I didn't like the voice. So I was trying to speed through it.
there's some good
Power
ones. Sins of Our Clone Daddy was good, and Whale Blubber, the new anti-aging
The best one
cream.
is One Man or the Entire Navi, which is a Dark Knight reference.
My favorite is Infinite Handcuffs because they had a lot of handcuffs.
Yeah,
They're just like, and then
Slapping clap.
even the youngest
That's a
child,
good point.
Took, at one point has a line in the movie
the dumbest line ever.
where she's like, "I just keep getting handcuffed." She's
I
like,
thought that shit
I'm
was
like, What
hilarious.
is happening?
I thought that was some of the
Only
funniest
James
stuff.
Cameron would be like, "All right, we're gonna have a close-up shot. We're gonna have this shot of just rendering her saying Liz line."
I thought it was hilarious because at some point, I think almost all the kids get handcuffed two or three times. It's like, so I thought that was great. I mean, she's like a little kid. She's practically the kids running behind you, kicking your chair.
I want a graphic.
Same.
I want a graphic novel about the company that makes the handcuffs for the humans, and just like how many that they provided, and you know the quality of them, and why they were like,
No.
oh, you need more than one, right? You need like 7 on each person.
Now,
It's fascinating.
It is fascinating. Overall, I think your DVD chapter listing 8.32 out of 10.
Shit.
Christian, you get a 9.53.2
2 decimal points
out of 10.
What the
That's the
fuck?
highest combined score we've ever had.
Also,
Pretty
one
good.
of those numbers is fake.
One of these is not like the other.
You did so last time. You know, we had a pre discussion about this.
A pre-pod.
Oh,
a pre
boy.
pod.
Good thing I recorded the whole thing.
Did you really?
No.
Oh, should have just uploaded that.
The
There's a
pod's
lot
done,
of
guys.
incoherent screaming.
Yeah.
They were screaming?
Yeah.
Yeah, we get very passionate about your views,
Especially
on
when
things.
Jim Beam's involved.
Yeah, Jim Beam was involved.
Also hard of hearing.
Sure, but you did bring up one interesting point.
Only one.
A lot of people, and myself included, didn't think there was a need to bring back the Colonel Miles, especially bringing him back as an avatar. Just kind of seemed a little weird. And then by the end of the movie, he's still alive, and it's been revealed that he's going to be kind of the main villain, potentially for 3, 4, and 5.
I feel like that's a red herring, by the way.
Potentially, yes, but you did bring up a good point in terms of the Colonel being reborn as an avatar and Scully being reborn as an avatar.
Oh, that's our producer's point.
So
Yeah,
here's
yeah.
the point.
Yeah.
So if somebody could bring up that point, and
So
then we can break this down.
Yes. So basically, the Colonel coming back as an avatar, but through human means. So his consciousness is uploaded, then is uploaded into a human
Yeah.
engineered Navi
It's
body.
essentially cloned.
Yeah,
Into,
and it sort of mirrors Sully in the first movie when he does it the natural way.
They
Right?
both die.
through the tree.
Yeah, they're using. So one's using the planet and nature,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
one's using technology to come back.
And now and then the mortal enemies, they want to kill each other. It's they're opposites.
I think
And
they're in
son
love.
for a son.
Yeah.
son for a son.
And it sets up the entire future of the Pandora ecosystem. If you really think about it, you got a bunch of hybrids running around, and we got this human spider who's falling for one of the Sigourney Weaver.
He's falling for Jesus.
He's falling for Pandora Jesus.
Pandora Jesus. That's Kiri.
So yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you brought up that Cameron is thinking far into the future, hopefully with these movies, because to me, that's why you would introduce these differences and highlight the 5 fingers versus the 4 fingers in this second movie.
According to Cameron, they've already shot
3.
Most of 3, or
most
all
of 3. Yeah, I think all 3 is shot. I mean, they've also shot quite a
Scenes.
bit of 4
Yeah.
because he didn't want the actors to age up too much. Like, if you see the actors now, who played the kids, they're
Adults.
significantly older.
Right,
than
because
they
they
were.
went from they were
Pre-puberty.
children to teenagers
Yeah.
to some are young adults now. So yeah, but what's interesting though is this technology is the ultimate de-ager.
Yeah.
Because
Just look at Sigourney Weaver.
yeah,
playing
exactly.
Kiri.
She played herself as a Navi, and now she's playing the daughter of herself. And for the most part, the CGI is done in such a way that I think you didn't even realize, right, that it was
No, so when you guys informed me
Mhm.
that Kiri was played by Sigourney Weaver, and also looked like Sigourney Weaver, I honestly didn't see it at all when I watched the movie. I'm sure now if I went back knowing that, I'd be like, oh, that's totally Sigourney Weaver. I thought it was I didn't know it was her at all. I thought Sigourney Weaver was not in this movie. I thought, yeah, this is... So I was shocked, and that's, maybe a testament. It's either a testament to the tech or a testament to how unobservant I am. Maybe
I'm
both.
gonna go with the unobservent one.
Sure, because everyone else.
I would
apparently
say,
picked up on
for
it.
me, the most distracting thing besides the kids was the Sigourney Weaver voice for Kiri.
See, I didn't
That
even, I didn't even pick
took
up
me
on
out.
it.
It took me out of the movie a little bit.
Interesting.
Not as much as the kids kicking away chair.
Okay. So plus, that's point James Cameron.
Yeah, because he replanted those
because
kids.
the kids was worse.
Whose life can I mess up? Arjuna. Yes, this guy.
I imagine James Cameron is like Santa Claus. He just knows everything and everywhere, where everything is, where everyone is. But instead of giving presents to children, he gives Avatar every 13 years and then decides how everyone's experience will be with the movie.
Oh my goodness.
Instead of presents to children, he gives children presents
Oh God.
in your life.
Oh no. Is Avatar 3 coming out this year?
in 2024 supposedly.
Oh, 24.
No, 2023 this
What's
year.
coming out this year?
No,
Avatar 3.
No, it's 2024.
I thought it was the end of this year. I have to wait 2 more years.
Yeah.
I mean, we
Essentially,
waited 13. I don't know how many people were
I
waiting.
think it's to be every 2 years, I believe. I think it's the next one's 2024, and then the fourth one's 2026. And then I think the fifth one is 2027. But that probably will change.
And Disney, right, owns this now because it's
They
under
bought
the
20th Century. Yeah.
Fox, right? So when we see the big D23 conventions, and this will now be part of that whole.
Let me ask you this. Can 20th Century Fox projects go into Disney World and Disneyland?
Yeah, there's an Avatar land in Disney World.
There is? I was
Yeah.
there and
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's in, I don't know
We're
which
doomed.
kingdom it's in, but it's in one of the 5 or 6, however many parks.
Are there giant blue people walking around?
I have no idea.
Oh, that's
It's supposed to be pretty cool though. Like the Avatar, there's a ride in the land, like that piece of the land.
No, they're building it.
No, it's done.
I thought they were still. I thought it's in Shanghai, Disney.
It is, but there's also it's done in
At Disney World?
Yeah.
Avatar Land?
in Orlando.
Yeah.
You were just there.
I was there. I didn't see it.
Did you go to all 5 parks?
No.
I think
That
it might
might
be in
do it.
Animal Kingdom.
Oh, I didn't go there.
Whoa, that's problematic.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Yep.
How do you think the elephants
Yep.
feel?
Oh man.
Yeah,
So
so
like, what
Good
the
point.
fuck are those?
so it isn't. Yeah, Disney's
not an
Animal
animal.
Kingdom theme park is where it's at.
They're like, those people
Oh.
are getting paid. We don't get a paycheck.
Well, supposedly I'll be at Disney World next month, so I'll go
You should
check
go.
it out.
Yeah, tell us how Pandora is.
Damn, you busy.
Yes.
You have another trip coming up,
Yep.
and then another trip.
Yep.
What's planned for March? Another trip
WonderCon.
in March. Oh,
WonderCon's in
Jesus
March, right?
Christ.
That was in May.
I thought it was March.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Speaking of WonderCon, Comic-Con, did Christian tell you what he's doing for Comic-Con this year? Should we reveal it on the pod?
Yes, do it.
Go ahead, reveal. What are you doing?
What am I doing? I haven't said
Krishna
anything
is
yet.
doing a fitness challenge. He wants to bulk
Oh.
up because he's going to cosplay as Bane.
I'm Bird. And you are gonna,
I have heard
Bulk
this.
up.
I've heard Krishna promise this at least 5 years in a row.
and I'm making very small progress every year. I get a little heavier. Slowly but surely, I will morph into my final form.
Krishna, what if you just did out of shape Bane?
And that's what it'll end up being.
Like retired Bane or
Yeah.
something.
I'm Bane. with-
Krishna, can you
on donuts.
can you get a pot belly by like?
You can just
Comic-Con?
stuff him with a pillow.
Easy. Can you see it? Oh, that hurts. Yes, I can do that.
All right, there you go.
When do you think the hype and discussion around this movie will truly just flatline? Or do you think
I
we
think
are
it already
now
has.
or do you think we're now in like are we in the same stages that we are with like a Marvel and a Star Wars where
I've
there's
never-
consistent like the
yeah.
news drops every couple of months and
I've
stuff?
never viewed Avatar in that same like it is definitely popular IP, but it's not like Star Wars or Marvel because it's not a lot of there's not a lot to speculate on, right? The reason people like talk about Marvel movies for so long are the after credit scenes and how it connects, and there's a rich source material with the comic books, and so a lot of the discussion with those movies and that franchise is how does it relate back to that? What are they going to do? Avatar being like an original IP, right, out of James Cameron's mind, it's different. And then there's also that 13-year gap between. It reminds me more of like maybe what Star Wars was between like the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy. Like people are excited and hyped.
Before Disney bought it.
Yeah, before it really became like more of a franchise and more of a thing. So like I don't think
But
Right
now that
now-
Disney has it.
but right now I don't think there's that same type of discussion and there's not that same energy. So I wouldn't put it in the same category. I think it's just like this is the movie everyone's going to see. So people are like, "Wow, it's beautiful and cool," but then like that's the discussion. It's not like a long discussion. It's like, "Did you see that cool whale documentary?" "Oh yeah, I did too." "Did you like it?" "Yeah." "Cool. See you in 2 years."
That's why I wore this National Geographic.
Speaking
sweatshirt.
of cool whales, part of the press tour that they did you all? I showed the clip
Oh.
to our producer Layman and Krishna last
Boy.
night. But during the Japanese premiere presser or whatever, they did a dolphin show in front of Cameron and the cast. Which, when you think about what this movie is and a dolphin show, it just was not the best PR
Dolphins in
move.
captivity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Being
kind
made
of a
to
missed.
perform.
Went over somebody's head, I think.
Well,
Yeah.
you know.
Is the movie like the first movie is very much, I think, it's very much around the idea, not necessarily of like climate change or anything of that nature, but it is around the idea of like be good to your home and your planet.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying Cameron is on this save the planet thing. This movie is all about them harnessing and whaling and all that stuff. Is Cameron, you think, still in the mindset of like, I'm trying to protect Earth with these movies, or is it just this is something everyone kind of knows or is aware of worldwide? Where like whaling, for the most part, I think most countries have like banned it, because of what it entails. But
Yeah, I think that's part of his message with a lot of these Avatar movies is just, we're shit to this planet. And so it's like a pretty, like, look, humans being shitty to a planet.
I mean,
Does that sound familiar to you?
I don't know. It might be really explicitly said in the movie, but it's at least implied that humans have come to Pandora because
They
Earth,
fucked up Earth.
They
because
said
Earth
it.
sucks.
They say it in the movie.
They're
Yeah, I
"Wait,"
figured they did.
Yeah, the general played by the Eddie Falco, the actress who believed that the movie had come out years ago and
Oh my
flopped
God.
and didn't realize that it was coming out now. She plays that general who's like, I'm in charge of like getting this planet habitable and making sure like humans are moving here, and that's kind of like the overarching threat of the movie, right? That's not obviously directly addressed, but is like humans, even if they like even though they push back the whaling humans in this movie, the humans are still coming, and they're still going to keep coming, and they're trying to take this planet over.
Yeah, they have like 1,000 ships in space. So.
Yeah, so it's like there's a big war coming,
Right.
which I think will be interesting to see how they kind of
An end game.
You have to unite the 4 kingdoms.
Navi, unite!
So we know that there's going to be Avatar 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Look at me, I can count. Let's hear, though, what you guys think Avatar 3 is going to entail. Your bold predictions. And in maybe 2 years, if we're still doing this, we can revisit them.
Wow. Well,
Is
so
your bold prediction that
let me-
this pod doesn't exist by Avatar 3?
I hope not. Put too much energy into this.
December 2024.
oh wow, so
2024,
it's
yeah.
2 years. Let me ask you this: is it confirmed that the Fire Nation is the plot point?
Cameron's mentioned it, so I'm considering that they filmed most of it. I would say it's pretty
Pretty out there.
unless
so-
they just completely trash the current third movie they have and redo it.
Interesting. So bold predictions.
Wow, this is riveting.
This is great audio content.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's looking at me. No one else has got one. I'm, my
You're
my
the
noodle is working.
You're
know?
the eldest, so we always look to you to start.
Christian, I like how you like my noodle is working. In every pod we do, we have bold predictions.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're acting like this is a surprise. Like you didn't know this was
every
coming
time,
out.
every time. Oh yeah, let me just think on
Let
it.
me
a little
think
bit,
on it.
guys.
Yeah.
I'll,
let me.
I'll kick things off. Here's my bold prediction. It's 2 bold predictions because
Excellent.
one is lame, and I also like stealing your potential bold predictions.
Yeah.
So my first one, the runtime for Avatar 3
Oh,
is
God.
going to be more around a longer normal movie, meaning
What?
2.5 hours.
Interesting.
Oh, I actually agree with that one.
I don't think we're going to see this 3.5 hour runtime.
Why?
And the main reason it goes back to Arjuna's one-word impression.
kids.
Arjuna made a really good points in terms of like these kids could not sit down for that long to watch this film, and that's because this is not a knock at any generation or anything of that nature, but the attention span for humanity is
And
getting
the Navi.
and sure is getting shorter and shorter and shorter, and in order to like maintain and make sure that we get those butts in the seats and we get people to come back again and again, is you need a good, concise, easy to digest movie with a reasonable runtime. And just in this day and age, 3+ hours is not, it's not, I don't think it's reasonable. It's not a reasonable thing, especially in a theater.
I think in theory too, there's just less movie to have because you don't have to introduce, in theory, a whole set of new characters. I'm sure there'll be new characters to introduce, but
The
you're
Fire
not-
Nation.
But you're not introducing all these kids. You're not. There's there obviously being a 13-year gap between movies, you have to retread a lot of like stuff that's happened before to get the audience a little bit caught up.
Right, you need 30-minute montage to explain about the sky people and show scenes from the first movie.
but that's important and
Right.
it's kind of needed for that movie. But with this one coming out in 2 years, it's like I don't think there will be as much of a time jump between 2 and 3 as maybe there was between 1 and 2. Obviously, with their
Right.
having like teenage kids. So yeah, it should be shorter in theory.
And then my other bold prediction.
It'll be longer.
No, my other bold prediction
Wait, what?
Can't go wrong.
is
Spider?
no Spider. It's Sully's wife's name.
Natiri.
Natiri. I think she'll actually die in the third one.
I really thought she was going to die in this one.
I mean, that was the rumor, and
Yeah.
then the comment that was made by Zoe.
I mean, she like wasn't in the movie for like large swaths of it, like with the whole.
Middle.
Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm missing something. But like, why didn't she train with like Jake and the kids with the water stuff?
Because she's a tree person.
She wanted to hold on maybe to her ways.
Could be.
But I would have at least loved like a scene that established that, like instead of just like 40 minutes without
Without seeing her.
Natiri, especially like
Right.
she was the co-lead in the first movie, and she really got pushed back. And I thought the biggest the biggest arc that she had was just her animosity towards Spider, and then just like pretty much failing that kid and being like, you're dirt, and I don't like you.
Fuck you.
And maybe hopefully that's a part of the next movie, in theory. But it was just it was strange for me being like, okay, what are the big things from the first movie? Like Jake and Neytiri. And like Jake obviously still has a good amount to do in this movie, but Neytiri, it really just felt like was
Pushed
way back to the side. Yeah. So yeah, I guess she just dies in your bold prediction.
I think she's gonna die in the third one.
Should die in this movie.
I think it was way more impactful to kill the eldest son.
No, for sure.
Because that's going to put a strain on the entire family relationship.
Oh, yeah.
More specifically with Sully and his now only son, right?
Yeah.
So
Black.
well, yeah. Which would, again, I think we know the third one's going to be Na'vi versus Na'vi. Like that's what the rumors are, whether it's Fire Nation group or whatever. It'd be interesting.
Why is the Fire Nation always bad?
Because fire is considered
destructive.
evil, is destructive.
Chaotic.
Like that's like written
uncontrollable.
like super old religions have always stated fire is a bad
They
thing,
need to make a movie where the fire's the good
and
guy.
water has always been like the thing that regrows or restarts and
Heals,
heals and
yeah.
everything.
I'm gonna make a movie
nourishes.
where it's the opposite. Fire is good, and water is bad.
The cleansing power of fire.
Exactly.
But you know what's interesting with fire though? Like people, and we still kind of do it right now. Is that people will light areas of land on fire to actually help restart growth.
Yep.
Which is interesting. So
Yeah.
Yep. So
Well,
maybe it's not all bad.
People will burn trees and stuff for that very reason.
Pyros do too.
That's a little bit of a difference.
Also, parents when they do gender reveal parties. You guys remember the big ass fire a couple of years ago? Dumbasses.
Also, cars will just explode sometimes
Yeah.
when they need to be reborn.
What? No.
You guys that's never happened where you guys have like been driving and you see a car on fire on the highway?
That's
Usually,
just big reborn.
It's happened like 2 or 3 times since I've been in LA. I've just seen a car on
I mean,
fire.
that's LA. That's
I saw one
common.
I saw one in New Hampshire. That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
I saw one in the rain in New Hampshire once. That was
Oh,
also
Dad, right?
Yeah, that was weird. It was
Oh,
on
yeah.
93.
93?
Yeah.
That shitty old
The old
highway.
93.
93, 95. All right, who's got another bold prediction?
You're not ready yet, huh?
Nope. I'm almost there.
I mean, if you
It's
don't,
percolating.
I'll give you my third one.
No. Okay. This is the third movie, the middle piece of the 5-movie arc.
Maybe
which
6.
means maybe 10. But of the 5 movies that he maybe has planned, we just talked about how fire is destructive, cleansing. Before you can have rebirth, you've got to destroy the old, right? So I think Jake dies in this third one. So he's gonna come up against this fiery group. We're gonna have Navi on Navi action and
Navi on
fighting
Navi.
and get your minds out of the gutter, audience.
We had Navi on Navi. That's how they had 3 kids.
Wow. And I think like we said, this movie is establishing the next generation, right? To kind of take over, lead the Navi into the future, especially with the evil sky people coming in and trying to take their home. And Jake, we even saw like flashes of it in this movie, is sort of, he's not a fossil, but his way of thinking, his way of being, while it's kept them alive, might also be slightly limiting to what the Navi need to do.
I think you intentionally see that with all the parents, like the entire generation, like Neytiri and Jake. You see them kind of
Old people.
stuck in their ways a little bit, which is why the kids are so important, because they can
They're
introduce
thinking
a new way
differently.
of thinking, which is potentially going to be needed, right? Because so far with the human Navi relationships, all we've seen is just fighting. At some point, the planet is big enough where are you going to see Navi negotiate with humans, right? Are you going to see Navi work with humans potentially? And like, oh, you want to?
And there's already elements of that, right?
Yeah.
With Spider and then Jake or his kids being hybrids.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
So I think what's interesting, and this will lead into my bold prediction, is the third movie. You're going to see time jumps. You're going to start seeing these kids become older, and the next generation kind of come into play. And I don't know if Jake and Neytiri will like die by like battle, but I think they'll be dead by like old age. Because I think
In the third one?
Shit.
by the end of the third one, I
So
think
you're saying the third one's going to cover like a big time
I think it's gonna
span.
just gonna cover some time span, right? I think James Cameron likes to play with like interviews and stuff and being like, oh yeah, we filmed some scenes for 4 or whatever. Could be flashbacks, right? Doesn't have to necessarily be like the narrative is still kind of stuck in this. Oh, we're still kind of like in present Na'vi time where these kids are teenagers or whatever. But I do think like the third one would be the last one with a lot of these adult characters, and you'll start to see more of
It's like a if it is the middle movie, right? It's got to be
Yeah.
where things flip.
I think right. I think,
Transition.
yeah, I think the mantle. I think for both of your predictions and mine, like the mantle will be handed off. Like this will no longer be like Jake and Natiri's, and even Quaritch, the Colonel. I don't think it's going to be their story anymore by the end of 3. I think there's going to be like Spider will be more of an antagonist potentially, and like some of the Sully kids will be in different areas, and like Kiri will be doing something else. So it'll be like somewhere in the middle of like, actually like this conflict is bullshit, and like this is what we need to be doing, and like with the planet and everything.
Maybe so you know how Jake and the Colonel became tree people avatars. Na'vi. Spider will become a fire Na'vi.
What if
He'll transfer himself into that.
What if
body.
some of the Na'vi become humans?
Yeah.
Oh, go back the other way or
Yeah.
something.
why
Go
not?
backwards.
I mean,
There's enough movies. We can explore every concept.
Well, I mean,
Every permutation, we can do it.
Cameron has said that he envisions
Oh,
at
God.
some point that the Na'vi will end up on Earth.
Well, he's also
So.
said like he said Avatar 3 will not all take place on Pandora, and like you'll see Na'vi leave Pandora,
That's
whatever that, and I think that feeds into my like. There's some time
time
jumpage here.
skippage.
Yeah.
Maybe a black hole, gargantua, interstellar travel. That'd be sweet. Can you imagine? So like a piece of the Na'vi population leaves, they go on interstellar travel, and eventually, they evolve off-world,
Yeah.
over millions of years, and then the two groups meet back up, and they're completely different.
Well, I think what's interesting about the title
Dune.
of the franchise is it's not the movie and the franchises aren't called Na'vi.
It's called
They're called Avatar.
Yeah.
Right. So I do think James Cameron's playing with this idea of like there's some type of new version of avatars potentially in every movie, right? In the evolution, and like this one was a lot of the cloning stuff, changing within the system, hybrids. And I think you're going to see more and more of that kind of evolve as these movies go on. Maybe get weirder too. Like,
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I think we've talked about that a little bit, right? Like, so, and there's a few ways you can go with that. We have hybrids. We have all the genetic stuff. You can get pretty weird. We have the element of the consciousness of Iowa and Kiri being, and our producer put it really well, the manifestation of Iowa. So that's another whole thread that you can pull on. The fact that this is in space, there's space travel into interstellar travel. The humans got here, right? Also, Pandora's a moon, right? Around a big gas planet.
Yep.
Around Jupiter.
It's around Jupiter. Okay, so it's even. Oh,
Is it Jupiter?
well, fuck.
or at least a planet that looks like Jupiter.
Yeah.
I don't think it's in our solar system.
See,
I don't remember.
should-
I don't think it's mentioned in the second one, and I don't remember.
Well, we know it takes them 5
the
years,
first
3
one.
years, or something, 10 years
It's
to
a-
get between Earth and Pandora.
And they have to.
Something
They
like
hibernate.
that.
They
too.
hibernate to get there.
They hibernate to get there.
and that's why Spider couldn't go back because
Saturn.
He was too.
Oh, it's Saturn.
Well,
he was too young.
in reality, Pandora is a moon around Saturn.
Right, but
Oh,
in
okay.
the movie, it's in a different part of the galaxy.
Really?
I don't believe it's in.
It'd be weird for them to name it the same as a moon of Saturn if it wasn't, right? Like that would be that'd be poor on Cameron's part.
I also feel like Pandora, the moon, in reality, is considered one of the only places in the solar system that could be habitable.
Yeah, it has ice.
I could be wrong. I'm not an
There's a couple-
So
I
in
think,
the film, Pandora is depicted as being located in the Alpha Centauri A system, about 4.3 light years from Earth.
Light year.
So it's not in our solar system,
Okay, well then.
But it is within our
which
light.
makes sense because we can get to Saturn in an easy 7 years,
I
and
think
you
it's
don't need
quicker
to
than
sleep.
that now. Well, that would suck.
Do you think there'll be a Star Wars reference in the third one?
Hopefully,
Why would there be a Star Wars
synergy is needed.
It's Disney. Why can't it be in the same universe as Star Wars?
So wait, Alpha Centauri, is that a galaxy? That's not the Andromeda galaxy. Is that but it's in the local cluster, right? Never mind. We have Milky Way and then Andromeda and then I think Alpha
They should
Centauri
have
is
like
the
made
next
all
one.
of the galaxies.
It's somewhere out there. It's like cluster. Like
Yeah, clusterfuck.
They should have made all the galaxies like candy bar names, or all candy bars galaxy names.
I think they have.
That's my hot take.
Mars, Galaxy. That's
Kit
the only.
Kat.
Yeah, Kit
Yeah, I
Kat.
want to go to the Kit Kat universe or galaxy.
It's very wafery.
Well, I mean, why not? I mean, jeez.
Everything's really fragile.
The Alpha Centauri candy,
Mm-hmm.
Andromeda.
That's true.
So yeah, I think I hope yeah. So to wrap up bold predictions, I hope Cameron does go weird because it's so far right. Like, and we talked about this a little bit off camera. The story so far feels a bit. I don't want to use the word generic, but it's it feels like we've seen it before.
It's like vanilla, right?
Vanilla.
It's-
Oh boy,
No, I'm not dissing vanilla. I do like vanilla ice cream.
you love vanilla.
But it's very like you know what to expect. It's very familiar.
Yes, we've
And
seen
it's just-
these
it's-
themes before.
Yeah, it's
so far it feels a little slightly predictable, but that's why
much like vanilla ice cream
yeah.
and vanilla in general. You predict, you know what it is.
That's why it's
kind
called
of the-
vanilla because
it's the base.
vanilla is predictable.
one of the
It's
more predictable flavors.
It's the most predictable.
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
Boring.
vanilla.
It's white bread, Wonder Bread.
Oh no.
Arjuna, was Avatar, The Way of Water, good?
I'm gonna say no.
Oh shit.
And the reason I'm gonna say no
It's because little kids
is because of my experience,
Yeah.
specifically.
right.
And I need to see it again. Yeah. And I don't know when that will be, but I will see it again at some point to see how much does that change how I felt about the movie. Because visually it's great, but the story, the movie itself is kind of just like vanilla.
Do you want some vanilla ice cream?
I do, actually.
We have a whole thing.
Do you remember
if
when you
want
played a character in one of
some. Our shorts?
old production called Vanilla?
I do.
You
What
remember
a,
your
what a legendary character that was.
That character was not vanilla. He was a very complicated individual.
He wore a Boston Red Sox white visor.
But he had a British accent.
Yeah.
And
Oversized
He
suit.
wore a blazer.
Oversized
An oversized
blazer.
blazer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With some sunglasses.
Wasn't he a drug dealer?
Yep.
Our depiction of drug dealers as children was weird.
Our only inspiration was New Hampshire, so,
I mean, that was pretty fitting for a New Hampshire drug dealer.
It's true. Krishna, was Avatar, Way of Water, a.k.a. James Cameron's whale documentary, good?
Yeah, it was good. It was great.
Great.
It was visually the best movie I've ever seen. Just the actual visuals of it. And I think, the cinematography I think must have been pretty good because I loved the way it looked.
Can you remember every
So,
scene from 3 hours and 12
It
minutes?
touched me. It touched me emotionally.
Oh my god.
Touched you?
The story, while the story was nothing groundbreaking, I
Vanilla.
enjoyed. My favorite part of the movie was the middle part with the kids taking on Avatar school training, as Ravi puts it. I actually thoroughly
Training
enjoyed that,
mode.
which shocked me because to me it seems like the part that I would enjoy the least, but I enjoyed it the most. And also, I think that middle piece of the movie is very important to the future of the franchise because that's where they're setting up all the crazy stuff. And that
Like
being
Kiri
said,
having seizures.
yeah, the fact that her connection to Aowa is intense, too intense, maybe.
Like if someone goes to see the Eternals.
Arjuna can directly connect with Kiri on that.
Yeah.
Wait, so is Aowa Kiri's Eternals?
Yep.
Oh boy. So I really enjoyed it. I think this sets up a lot of good stuff for the future. James Cameron has proven that he has the movie making chops to go in crazy directions, and I hope he does.
He's
I
like
think he will.
50. He's got like something like 45 years experience.
He has
in the
he has a
movie.
couple of credits to his name.
Industry.
He has a couple of credits.
What if each movie took 13 years to make and he did 5? That would take
So I was talking to my friend about this.
60.
We were like, so we would be what, in our 70s when this thing wraps up?
It'd
I don't
be
have the
65
patience
years.
for that.
It'd be 65 years.
Yeah.
Movies.
Be insane. Ravi,
Christian.
was Avatar, The Way of Water, good?
Yes.
I'm gonna say no.
Ooh!
Jesus Christ.
And it's not anything anyone said on the pod necessarily that kind of really changed my mind. It was more the idea of like, while yes, visually it's really good, and while for the most part it's an interesting story, the simple fact that I haven't bothered to go see it again, and when it does come out on like DVD or streaming or whatever, am I legitimately going to sit there and rewatch it? No.
Yes.
Just because
You will.
I've seen it and there's
You'd
nothing.
second screen it.
Yeah, I would second screen it, but even second screen, like, I don't see the point in seeing it again because, again, it's not something that I didn't really connect with any character. I didn't think any themes or anything of that, like any themes or anything that was brought up in the film was so interesting that it needs to like look at again. It just felt, it's very vanilla. It's like, okay, I saw it, I got it, cool. Will I see the third one just because I'm curious to see where things are going? Sure, but that's not enough reason to say like something is a good film.
Right.
Right.
Like you'll see Morbius 2.
Probably just for the memes.
There is no Morbius 2 though.
It's because you bopped out at the most important part.
Yeah,
to go
when
You
we-
see.
missed the time travel. I'm
you didn't
telling you.
connect to the characters.
That's when they added the chocolate swirl.
Yeah.
Chocolate swirl. Wow. I think this
To
is
the vanilla.
first. This is
I get it.
This is our first pod of 2023.
It is?
Yes.
No, it's our second.
Oh, it's our. Yeah, it is our second pod of
Bad
2023.
Batch.
Bad Batch was our first one,
Yeah.
but this is the first one in a while where I think there were 2 no's
Yeah.
for
it's
you.
been a while.
Yes.
Wait, you said no to the first 2 episodes of Bad Batch?
No.
No.
This Avatar.
This
is-
Avatar. 2 no's.
Oh.
Christian's tired, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He looks it.
I haven't had my green tea yet.
Wow.
Silence.
I didn't expect this pod to go this way.
Really?
Yeah.
Thought I was gonna say yes?
I thought we were all gonna say yes.
I
did too,
I knew
honestly.
you were on the fence. I shouldn't have been too surprised that you said no.
I mean,
But I was. I am
Right.
surprised. And
I
I'm
am.
disappointed. I'm not disappointed. I am disappointed. I'm not.
Do you think
I
you
am.
would have seen the movie already if it was shorter?
Yeah.
Because it's like it's almost a full day commitment,
It's a commitment.
to see this movie.
I saw it at 10 p.m.
Wow, that's super late.
I got out at 1:30 p.m. 1:30 p.m. a.m. from that movie theater,
Real time
and
travel.
I enjoyed it thoroughly. Thoroughly.
My
that-
favorite tweet over New Year's was like, if you go to your
Oh.
screening of Avatar starts at 9 p.m. At midnight, Avatar will still be going because that's a long ass movie.
Yeah, you still have 9 more minutes.
You
of
got 12
Avatar.
more minutes or
12
whatever.
more minutes of Avatar.
So funny.
That's good.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a commit. I mean, it's a commitment. You know,
Right.
like it's a lot.
And again, that's why it's like, am I ever going to see it again? Probably not, because I got other things I'd rather be doing. So therefore, it's not a good movie.
Like watching Cruella.
I am Cruella.
Do you think the fact that it's so visually stunning and ahead of its time and that you almost have to see it in 3D in a theater is a detriment to that rewatchability?
If I saw it again, I would not see it in 3D personally.
I didn't see it in 3D.
I want to
the first
see.
time.
I actually want to see it without the 3D next time.
That
I
might be
still
that might be
visual-
why you didn't
wow.
like it.
Yeah.
Well, no. I mean, in the moment of seeing it, I liked it. But going after the fact, thinking about it, no, I don't like it because I don't
And I
have
will
the
say I would
patience to see it again.
I guess I would just bring up the question:
Mhm.
if you were seeing it in 3D, the visuals maybe there is a leap there because like I said, I saw it in 3D.
Right.
And I'm completely blown away by the visuals. The visuals
I'm still blown
Is
away by the
enough
2D though.
to immerse myself in the movie,
Right.
where it's an experience. Like you're in the movie.
Sure.
you know?
But like,
It took me a while. I would say this for the 3D and some of the visuals. It took me a while to adjust, and I didn't like that feeling of like there were like scenes that felt too smooth and like it looked great, but it looked like a video game cutscene smoothness type
yeah.
to me. That's why I kind of want to see it in 2D next. Like I still want to see it like maybe on an IMAX screen or like an enhanced screen, but without the 3D.
Just to compare.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would like to like if and when I see it a second time in theaters, that's how I would.
It
I
also
would see
feels like again
or
like
want to at least.
by your statement of like visually it looks great in 3D, which I'm sure it does.
Insane.
To me, that
Yeah.
takes away from it being a good movie because when it's not in theaters and you want to watch Avatar again, you're going to be watching it on a flat 2D screen that's significantly smaller, has no 3D. Then therefore, are you going to say then the movie's not good because it's not in 3D?
Well, so for me, there are other elements of the movie that I
Okay,
like besides the visuals.
Sure.
But the visuals was what makes the movie unique.
Okay.
And James Cameron made this movie for an IMAX 3D experience. So you're right. Until they have, or maybe they already have, you guys could tell me, until they make the 3D TV experience.
They tried it, failed terribly.
Yeah, until they do that,
Right.
this movie is made to go see
Right.
about 1, maybe 2 times, maybe more, but the time to go to the theater to see an IMAX 3D, that's the experience.
A little bit like Top Gun, right? Like Top Gun
Yes.
Maverick is a
Yes.
you got to go see that in theaters.
IMAX. You must see
If
that
you
in
go see that
IMAX.
at home, you're probably just like, why is everyone hyping this movie?
Yes, 100. I think that's the best comparison you can make.
Yeah.
IMAX needs to be seen in Top Gun. Top Gun needs to be seen in IMAX, right? With that sound and that screen, and
Right.
it's
Especially
just a
the
completely
first
different
time, right?
experience.
It's like because I think you said you saw the movie a second time,
yeah,
and you said it was okay.
yeah. It's still great, but that IMAX experience is key to that movie.
But then that's just one major like that is a really big reasoning for saying a movie is good, because then you could just have a shit script or an okay script
Well, so no,
or
the
subpar acting.
so like movies have different focuses, right?
Sure.
And so some movies have amazing scripts and the visuals are like, oh, you don't need great visuals to tell a great story, and then vice versa. But both things need to be good enough where one's not detracting from the other.
Right.
And so for me, Avatar: The Way of Water, the story did not detract from the visuals. It didn't necessarily enhance the visuals, but it was good enough for me, where my experience of the visuals was awesome.
Gotcha.
But I can understand though why you say yes. But I would be like, maybe you should go back, rent out an IMAX theater by yourself, put on those 3D glasses,
And watch
then
Top
see.
Gun.
Yes,
I
that
mean,
too. Do a back to back. You'll be in the movie theater
personally,
for
like
5 hours.
if I was given the option between Top Gun and Avatar, I'd pick Top Gun.
Whoa.
for an IMAX experience,
Yeah, because it's shorter.
What about episode 8? If you add that into the
I'd burn the theater to the ground and then deal with those consequences
Yeah.
and be okay with that.
I mean, if you're like, I've seen both, and you're like, you get to go pick one, go see it again, and I would pick Top Gun as well, because Top Gun, Maverick, I love that movie. So
It's more relatable. I see myself as a fighter pilot.
fighter pilot.
I don't see myself as a tall blue alien.
I
with
think
a
that's
tail.
always the interesting thing, right? When we make the show pretty vague, right? Of like good, what is actually good? What
We've
isn't
never
good.
defined it.
It's subjective.
Well, and it's subjective,
completely
right? And it's like,
subjective,
is a movie good off one viewing? Is it repeat viewings? Is it the experience that you had in that singular viewing, et cetera, right? Like, I think we've done almost 250 episodes. Like, if we went back, right? If like on our 250th episode, we went back episode by episode, and we're like, do you still think that's good or not good? Like, there's
Yeah.
no way we're all 100% like, yep.
No, we would change our minds.
Things change. Like taste and stuff changes. So it's always like, even like recording this episode, right? Full disclosure, you guys saw it like weeks ago,
Yeah.
and I saw it like a week ago, right?
Right,
So it's
yeah.
like that. And you even said at the top of the pod, you came out of the theater and you were like, this is a great
movie.
Yeah. And your opinion on the movie itself in a few
It's
weeks
changed, yeah.
So
It evolves.
fascinating.
Yeah. We should. I mean, I don't think we need to ever define
We know. We don't.
the reason behind was it good, because that in itself that will change.
Yeah,
and does
it,
change.
It changes episode to episode
Right.
for each of us, right? Like,
Sometimes moment to moment.
what do we want? What do we want out of this movie or this experience, right? Like,
Right.
does it make us feel good, or is it,
I want enlightenment.
It also like comes down to as well, like a movie in this day and age, it's not just the story, the visuals, the acting, the directing. It's also the social commentary around said film or said series. If a certain EP or movie director comes out and says something about an entire fan base, that may skew your view of the film. Or if a director says you should go get sick to see my terribly poorly
Right.
executed film.
or if The
Brilliant
Rock
film.
comes out before you see that movie and
yeah,
hypes you up,
yeah, hypes you up.
you're gonna be like, "Wow, that was a fun experience."
But it's really a bad movie.
I got to see The Rock's muscles and live.
I was blinded by The Rock's muscles.
Yeah.
And his shiny head.
But Dave Bautista's still better.
Dead.
Yeah. No one backed me up on that one. That's right. Yeah.
The last thing
Love
I
it.
saw about Dave Bautista was his quote of being relieved to be done with
Done with
playing
Drax.
Drax.
Yeah. He doesn't want that to be his legacy, which I totally understand.
I understand, but I do think it's going to be his legacy. But
No,
We'll see.
His
We'll
legacy
see.
is going to be that
zombie
Dune
movie.
character, Harkonnen, the Harkonnen guy.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
And with that, that's going to do it for us here on Was It Good? As always, you can find the full episodes on youtube.com/wasitgood. Check us out on Instagram and TikTok at Was It Good Pod. And follow our AI Twitter account at Was It Good. Also, our website, wasitgood.info. We'll be back next week on something.
maybe plane.
Maybe Gerard Butler's greatest role ever, a captain of an airplane.
That goes down where he has to work with a prisoner.
Luke Cage.
Con Air.
Oh.
Basically.
Ooh.
Goodbye.
Con Air 2, my favorite movie.